brave one. You were the one. So we all ought to die someday. And we all ought to die someday. Well, you
Are we recording?
We are recording, yes.
That shirt is triggering me.
Welcome to tea time.
Why did you? It's funny. God designed me, created me, blesses me, heals, defends, forgives me, loves me. That is pretty. That is actually pretty funny.
I thought it was such a funny shirt to wear on here. I saw it in the thrift store.
That is a funny shirt. Who's the woman that's sitting on it? It's just like a random woman.
Can I tell you something? I have no idea who this is.
It's so funny. I thought it was like a country shirt, but it's a God shirt.
I know.
Before we, we'll start off with this right now.
God-made girls.
How are you guys feeling about the weather today?
Fine. It's a little muggy.
It's a little,
yeah.
I wish it was cold. Muggy. And it's so, right now, you guys, it's cloudy in Los Angeles.
It's not great. The last couple of days have been really nice and hot. Mm-hmm. I was into it. Woke up this morning, little bit kind of cold.
Kind of cold, indeed.
So that's the weather.
That's what's going on. If you guys could drop in the comments.
I'd rather it be a little cold.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I like it.
You don't like the hot?
I don't love the hot.
I don't love the hot either, but I've been liking the hot. I've been enjoying the little switch up.
You've been liking the sunshine.
Because I like to go on my walks, and it's not enjoyable to go on walks when it's kind of muggy or when it's
Here's the thing,
cold.
It's shit fuck cold. Or sorry, it's not shit fuck cold. It's like shit fuck cloudy.
Yeah,
and then,
I don't like shit fuck cloudy.
And then it's kind of humid outside and kind of sticky icky.
Yeah.
Like a man's bedroom, Lee.
Yeah, the sticky sucks.
I'll tell you guys this. I walked up to the studio today.
Yeah.
We's outside.
Yeah.
We is outside, and he's looking thin as all hell.
I know, Lee. You're giving skinny mini.
He's giving getting blown away in the wind thin.
Lee,
he's giving Gone with the Wind.
Do you think your wide but short dong is bigger now because you're slimming?
I don't want to talk about this.
No, I think I think the medicine is making me lose muscle, and so that's shriveling.
Oh,
what, so because you're saying your cock is a muscle, is a big fat muscle?
Yeah.
Ew. I did a show last night at the Comedy Store. Were you there?
No, I was not.
Okay, my set was whatever. I don't know why I just brought that up, but I just was thinking about it, and it was like, it's annoying.
You just want to say that you were there?
Yeah, it's annoying.
That was good.
It's annoying when you, as my boyfriend came. Don't worry, this is his fourth time seeing me perform in our year and a half of dating.
He do not be going to your shows, girl.
He don't be going to my damn shows. And I swear to God, though, because he goes so infrequently that I perform worse when he's there.
Do you get nervous?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's like so, I don't know, he's so finicky, such like a picky guy. And then I just
You're
feel
dating
like
a film bro. So
I know.
It's
I'm like trying to impress him. And I was like, fuck off. But he was giving me, he was like, yeah, you're meandering too much. It's like too slow, da da da. And I was like, yeah, I know, I'm working on bits and they're not really working. And he's like,
but you were trying out new stuff last night, so it's probably why it wasn't like your favorite set. But for him, can you say what you said to me on the phone?
What did I say? I forgot.
When you go, ladies.
Oh, yeah. So I have this stupid bit where I go like, I address the women in the room and I go, ladies, let me ask you this. And I do it like as a bit, like I'm making fun of people that do that.
Yeah.
To be like, ladies, who's with me? And he was like, I hate when you do your like little crowd work ladies bit. And I was like,
not your little crowd work.
Yeah, and I was like, no, but that's the bit. The bit is that I'm making fun of that.
Yeah.
Ladies, you know what I'm talking about.
It's nuance.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess
I'm not earnestly going, ladies, who's with, but I am, but I'm not. That's the bit. But I'm like, maybe that's not funny. To me, it's funny. I don't know. Lee, does that translate?
Oh.
I don't know.
No, because when she does it, she always has like one of her eyes closed. Like you look like you like turn into like a sloppy aunt for this one specific part. You go, ladies, now who's with me, ladies?
You guys ever suck dick and what's the joke?
If you're trying to make it like meta, you have to really like work it up and sell it.
Yeah. But she does do that. She goes, ladies, you ever suck dick and think, this is a man's job. See, boom, I know the joke.
Ladies, how many we got in here? Ladies, make some noise. And then
I don't like it when it's too much. I like it just the way that you do it is perfect. But
he goes, I don't like it when you do your little crowd work ladies bit.
Remember when I was dating your friend who punched a little mild hole in my closet door, and he hated my stand-up. And he would be like, I don't get it. I think you're so funny off stage, and then when you get on there, I just really don't like what you talk about and how you say it.
Yeah, my man kind of be saying the same thing. And then he saw Kelly Ryan last night, who was so funny, but he was like, that was so funny. And then he sees me. He goes, "Yeah, I gotta be honest. It's like the meandering. I hated the da 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 da."
You go. You better eat me out for this. I don't want to fucking hear anymore.
Yeah, the millennial bit's not working. The 2 girls, 1 cup shit. I'm just like, why is this like not? It's like, I don't know.
The bit I'm telling you about last night, I have, I think, the beginning part of it, but then I don't really have anywhere else to go. But I'm trying to work on a bit about adults that have stuffed animals on their beds. And then I try and say, because there was a point where I did have I used to. I have 0 right now, and that's on healed. But I used to have a ton of like,
you literally had
little critters.
Yeah, you did.
I know, I did. And like I was also inspired by that, and it was inspired by like you having like all those like funky little pillows on your bed. I just think it was just like
those funky fucking pillows that Joy gave me. Joy went to IKEA and bought all these pillows that were like body parts. And then gave them to me. There was like a hand, an ear.
It's so funny. And then my friend,
very Klasky Chupo.
I almost said her name, but I had this friend back in the day who she was a little bit older than me, and her bed was literally filled with little critters.
Oh, you know that girl's getting molested.
Well, back in the day, yeah. So that's what I'm trying to like work on this bit. And then when I was watching Love Island, like there's some girls like will bring like a little teddy bear, and it's always like the girls that are like a little bit fucked up.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to work on a bit about that type of adult, but it just kind of goes, it starts off and like the audience is with me. And then the more I talk about it, they go, oh, and then I lose them.
It gets too sad.
Yeah. But I'm like, come on, you guys.
There's something about having stuffed animals as an adult where you go, this is a cry for help.
Yeah.
It's also the same kind of thing as like the baby blankets. You go,
I be having one of those. And then my boyfriend saw it and he goes, oh, huh. And I go, okay, well, I literally tried to hide it from you, so relax. And then he was like, oh yeah, it's like a little weird, but it's endearing. And I was like, okay, not too much, but there you go.
Yeah, the baby blankets, it's a little, I remember when I lost my blankie. I lost it in a hotel in Utah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, when?
I must have been like 8.
Oh, I thought this was like 2 years ago.
No.
Oh, it was 8.
I was like 8 and I lost my blankie.
Dang.
Well, okay. So what do we got today? I keep forgetting what the fucking prompt is.
Okay, so I just looked it up yesterday. It's things that are hard to admit, right?
Yes.
And then I'm wrong.
Things that are hard to admit. The stories were vetted. My friend Jen is in town right now.
She vetted?
Yeah. So I was like,
Sick.
her and her husband Zach were over last night, and I was like, you know what? While you guys are here, will you go through the stories? And Zach starts reading them, and he's like, you know, I got to the end of this story, and I didn't read the title, and I realized that this entire story is about a what do you say? Like it's like about a child or something. And he was going through
this podcast to
a
T.
Yeah. And then he was like, okay, this one opens up with rape. And I was like, yeah, this is
Welcome to tea time.
Yeah.
Do we want to start off with some good comments from the week?
Please.
Yeah. Do you guys have any good ones?
I had one guy tell me yesterday that I look like I have Downs.
I saw that.
So,
hey, we're trying to work in a couple segments, guys. We're doing the weather up top.
We're doing the weather.
We got to do our weather up top. I've tried this new makeup technique, and I just got the glitter in my eye. I just want everyone to know that.
And then we want to talk about some of the really nice and supportive comments that these girls get during the week.
So I posted a video of my roommate Kate Lav, and she was wearing some of my clothes, and so I was like saying like, hey, do you guys like Kate's new look? And I put it on my story, and at the end of the video I say it looks mad flat, talking about her big voluptuous ass, and I got a horde of comments attacking me, being like, don't ever talk about her ass. You're fucking flat. You're the ugly one.
Can I say this? I did a little video of yours the other day.
Mm-hmm.
It was just that stupid like men gynecologist whatever mentioned me gynecologist, and I was like thumbing through some of the comments. The way that these men are so insanely out of touch, unfunny, have no idea what's going on. Like the way that they're taking it so serious, and they're like, yeah, well, women shouldn't be allowed to drive or to vote or da-da, and you're like,
we did a video where we just
are you guys good?
We have this stupid bit where we just like stare blankly at the camera and like say something, and like if people knew how little thought went into these, like we were like, we had been filming for like a couple hours, or like maybe like an hour and a half, and we just like put the phone up and we're like, okay, what do we say?
And we were like sitting on the bed being like, okay,
we're
what?
like half numb. We're like, what do we say? Oh, gynecologist. Okay, and it like took us like 1
not
second.
even a hot take. Literally not even a hot take. Like every woman like has a joke about how men shouldn't be gynecologists.
No, our friend Ahmed's in the room. We're like, is this bad? And he's like, it literally is like boring. It doesn't even matter. I was like, okay, cool. And then throw it up, and it has like ignited this.
Oh my God, the incels are coming out to play. You women, yeah, well, then go ahead and fight a guy. Oh, you don't think that men should be in women? And it's like, yo, dudes, have any of you ever had sex?
Yeah,
ever
literally.
Once in your life?
Well, if I ever become a gynecologist, I'll show you why I shouldn't be one. And I'm like,
okay.
What does that do? And that's not so
Dude,
much.
the way, and there's like 1,000 comments on it. I'm like, how are there 1,000 men that actually took this seriously, got upset, and left a comment? It is so crazy to me. It is so crazy to me.
It's also interesting how the first thing they do when they get angry is like insult your, or they're like, you fucking ugly bee, fuck you. And I'm like,
oh my God, I know. They always, especially when I make an appearance in yours, they hate me. They go, what's up with the old, what's up with the 50-year-old man?
I will say I have never
the ugly one.
Yeah,
the
I'm the ugly one. Yeah,
But
yeah.
you know what? You give me a break because when you're not there, they're like, ew, what's Stumpy doing blocking the view of Kate's ass? And then you go, oh, so
Yeah.
okay, I'm Stumpy. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it when they come in there and they go, what's that one? What is it? I go, yeah, thanks so much.
So then we got to now throw a fourth person in there to bullet off of you. But Kate and I were talking about this yesterday. We were like, you're so beautiful and you're so funny. And I have never in my life seen someone get hated on from men the way that you specifically do.
Dude, and it's so funny because it's like, as you know, comedians, like we see women get hated on all the time, especially online. I get it so bad. They hate me. And it makes me rage bait even harder.
No,
like I post so much rage bait because I'm just like, fuck off, you guys.
It's so funny.
Fuck off. Like I did that stupid bit that was like, I wouldn't want to have a son because all they do is jerk off and it's disgusting. And like if that's really how you feel about guys, then you shouldn't have a kid. If you're really afraid of, I'm like, really? This is how you got, well, you know, anything for engagement.
Anything for engagement. And speaking of engagement, Lee, I got a comment the other day on a stand-up clip. He DM'd me the comment from a stand-up clip that I posted. And he goes, holy mother of God, won't comment this publicly to embarrass you.
Stop.
But so not funny, period. Not period, funny, period.
Stop.
Not funny at all. But very beautiful and you are driven. Keep going, I guess.
Are you good, dude?
Hey, Kita. But yeah,
hey, Kita,
how crazy is that? I said, you know what? That is good. So I'm driven and I'm pretty, not funny at all. I said, okay. And you know what? Thanks for not commenting publicly.
Thanks for not commenting publicly. Honestly, you should have, because it's like you get worse.
Mm-hmm. I
got this one yesterday. I posted this stupid thing about, I was like describing my ex-boyfriend, the skateboarder who I almost killed myself over. Hold, drop his name. He goes, this guy comments on this video where I was talking about John. He goes, this was the only good joke on your page. And they always do the crying, laughing emoji, which I hate it. I scrolled down. Okay, it's giving a fan.
Okay.
The story is funny, but technically it's not even a tellable joke. Sorry, but you're like Amy Schumer funny.
They love calling female comics Amy Schumer funny.
They love doing that.
And I'm like, she literally sold out Madison Square Garden.
Great.
She has like one of the best specials, which is Amy Schumer Live at the Apollo, directed by Chris Rock. Like,
great. I'm Amy Schumer funny? Great. Then I'd like some Amy Schumer money.
Yeah.
Well,
Trainwreck, great film.
Everything else she's done, not so great, but
but early Amy, when she was first popping Amy Schumer, amazing.
Zionist Amy Schumer, not so much. But
we're posting that weird meme that was like racist and like extremely like kind of horrifying. Hey, I don't know about that. But
I like this though. The story is funny, but technically it's not even a tellable joke. Thank you. You know.
I know.
Thank you so much.
Wait, Lee, what do you have?
My biggest haters are on our Patreon.
That is true. And that is true.
They are very upset with me sometimes, and they let me know.
Yeah.
But,
they will let you know.
This comment really got me. It's referring to a Patreon episode, and it says, quote, Let him jerk off, says Lee, who can only get hard with $100 OnlyFans JOI where an 18-year-old girl in elf ears is telling him how small his dick is.
Like the way that they know you.
Wow.
And then I commented, and I said, drop that link.
Yeah.
Let me see
I saw that. And honestly, drop the link.
The thing about you is you're always going to want the link.
Yeah.
And then we got
$100 JOI with a girl in elf ears. I'm into it.
Really?
Drop it out. No.
Yeah, you are. You would not be into
All
it.
right, let's move on.
Okay, wait. So should we?
We have another one that I want to talk about on Patreon. Another comment from a fan who's no longer a fan, I suppose. But we'll talk about that on Patreon.
Okay.
Yeah. Wild.
That was weird.
Hi guys, sorry to interrupt the episode, but if you guys could please like and subscribe wherever you are listening to this godforsaken podcast, that would really mean a lot. And if you want to drop this in a haunted group chat with people that are just as weird like yourself, that would be amazing. We're trying to grow and expand this podcast, and we do that with the help of listeners like you. Okay, now back to the episode. Thank you.
But okay, things that are hard to admit to yourself. Hey, ladies, fellas, ladies, we have anything that's hard to admit to ourselves?
I'm going to be honest. I think kind of the beautiful thing and the cursed thing about this podcast is we have left a digital footprint that is so egregious and telling that it's kind of like scorched earth vibes. We kind of have just aired out everything and things we definitely shouldn't. But I'm trying to think of something that for us that we wouldn't necessarily like want to say, but I feel like we share everything. Lee's done meth on Skid Row. Gabby cried over a guy who used to piss in water bottles.
Something that's hard to admit to yourself, though, is like, I don't know. I have to, like, that's such a deep, when you like goes deep, it's like.
The thing that was kind of coming up for me is, I guess, something that's hard to admit to myself is that I am more like I feel like my biggest fear was always turning into my mother, but now I'm realizing that I'm more like my dad, and that's actually scarier. And I feel like I have to actively like work against that. But that's more of this like a personal thing for me. I feel like it doesn't mean that much to other people. But
Well, I mean, I think it does, but it would just like, that's like one of those things that you'd really have to get into detail about why.
yeah.
And I suppose we're not going to spend an entire episode today unpacking our shit because we have listeners that we need to get to.
But that's just my little thing.
Yeah.
But do you have anything?
I do, but again, it's just like, yeah, it's like not.
You're going to leave me on the cold?
No, things that are hard to admit to myself.
I'll jump in. That even if I'm losing weight and I'm trying to look better, I probably need to do a lot more deep therapeutic work on myself before I actually attract any
That's
human
true.
being.
Lee.
And I'll tell you why, because trauma stores itself in the body. The body keeps a score. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you could become.
And that book was boring, but it was true.
Did you see the movie? I think it was an A24 about the like elephant, the guy that has like the.
Yeah.
And he gets the surgery to make him like really handsome.
Mm-hmm.
What was it called? A Different Man.
A Different Man.
Have you seen
with
A Different
Sebastian
Man?
Stan, right?
No, I haven't.
So it's about this guy who
Check
is like
it
this
out.
terrible like condition.
I'm familiar with it. Yeah.
And then he gets this thing and it reverses him and he makes him all handsome, but then he's miserable on the inside because he realizes that
I am the elephant man.
you're the elephant man.
Lee,
Yeah.
you are our little elephant man.
Yeah. And the work comes from the inside.
I know, sweetie.
All
So
right, let's read some stories.
you got to stop firing
Yeah.
therapists.
Maybe somebody will
Clock you.
I had a therapist tell me, I don't think I can help you.
Well, that's because you're so ornery.
He
Whoa.
said, this isn't working.
Sorry.
And I don't have a reference for you.
That is wild.
And that's when you go, you know what? I need to do a little bit more on my own, and then I need to come back, because if you're not ready for someone to help you, then
And that's why
it's not gonna work,
ChatGPT
sis.
is taking the job. So people just go, well, then I'll just take it to chat.
Okay, this talking to ChatGPT and therapy with ChatGPT is wild.
It
It
is.
is so
It's
broken
a
and
fucking
gross.
chatbot.
It's bad.
made
And-
to like
And all it does is
just
like
bounce off you.
it
It's not-
enables you.
Yeah.
It's so enabling because I've done it and it'll be like, that's a great idea. And I'm like, I don't know if that's a great idea.
Yeah, none of this is a good idea. Not one idea I've ever had is a great idea.
Yeah. I've given it some of my stand-up and I've been like, can you write a joke about this? And it writes the absolute worst jokes I've ever seen.
Knock, knock.
It's
Who's
so
there?
We
bad.
should do
dude.
them.
I should. It's really, I'm
Okay,
like,
wait.
this
We
is
should do an
insane.
AI comedy show where
Waste
everybody
so much
writes
water.
everybody
I
writes their
know.
bits. What?
Waste so much water. There's this comedian
much water.
that we know that made the mistake of telling me that he uses AI to come up with the majority of his online content, and he has it write like scripts for him, and he's like, I put most of my jokes in here and it punches them up and I like it. And I think he's legitimately very funny, but this is so messy that I'm saying this on main, but I kind of don't care. I literally have noticed a lack of engagement. I need to like honestly clock out of his tea, but I have noticed a lack of engagement since he's like really leaned into this AI bullshit. And I'm like, this isn't even your voice. Like, you're not even saying anything.
It's not your voice. That's the thing.
It's so bland.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dude, like you can tell it's so inhuman.
Yeah.
Clearly, but.
Well, it's like with all these AI scripts that you're seeing on YouTube too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where people are like, this topic is a hot button issue. I just need a script on it. And then they throw it through an AI voice coder and just put up like images and it's like, it's nothing. It's just something that you put on because you're mentally ill and can't sit in silence.
We almost lost our entire fan base because we had that AI song generator.
Oh my God.
They fucking hated
that. Was so funny.
I did not anticipate that.
I didn't either. I was like, this is easy. Okay.
I thought it was okay. It was like, it was just something to have there. I did not know people were going to be that offended. It was
so controversial.
Yeah.
I mean, for a podcast that's based on being authentic, I guess it was. Shame on us.
And then we got,
but hey, we learned. We learned from it.
Then we got a comment the other day from somebody on YouTube, and they were like, "Yeah, the intro song does not fit the vibe." And it was like, I'm like, well, what do you guys want from us?
Because we don't have it for you, babe.
We don't have, this is the best we can do.
And maybe that's the hardest thing to admit to ourselves is that this, unfortunately, is the best that we can do.
And then it's crazy to me. People like get offended and they'll be like, their takes are so bad. I'm like, we've had the same takes since we started this. They've always been kind of problematic. They've always been kind of insane.
And that just goes to show you can't really change, which is also something that's hard to admit.
Yeah. We can't really change.
It's been 3 years and we ain't changing,
No,
sis.
this is it.
We
Sorry.
haven't
So when you guys are
evolved.
shocked and you're like, their takes are bad, it's like, we've always had bad takes. When were they good?
That's moth to a mentally ill flame, babe.
Absolutely. Do you want to start off with my obsession with my coworker? I'm 16, he's 28.
Yep. She's 16, he's 28.
I'm 16, he's 28, I think.
So, quick question.
Why are you listening to
this? As a 16-year-old, this is worse for your brain chemistry than underage drinking or statch, which is also what we're about to cover. But
16.
16, babe.
Where are your parents?
I know. Why are they letting you listen to this? I would never, ever let my child listen to this.
I do wonder if we had podcasts when we were that age, what we would have been into.
I remember my dad, one time I was in high school, and he showed me Adam Carolla's podcast. And that was something, wasn't it? Okay. Hi, honks and letards.
Okay.
You like that?
That was funny.
So I work in the service industry, and about 2 months ago, I was working with my
child labor.
All right, chill out. I worked in a restaurant when I was in high school. Okay. 2 months ago, I was working, and my bartender said that boy at the bar is going to start working here. And when I tell you, the man at the bar was the sexiest, most attractive man I'd ever laid eyes on. Before he left, I had to get a word in. I asked him if he's starting soon, and he said, yeah. His eyes are the most enchanting green. Okay, girl, damn. Enchanting green ever. I was so drawn to him. He started working, and immediately I got him under my wing to go smoke in the back. He and I were back there alone, hitting out shit, and he said, if I didn't know your age, I'd ask you for your number. So, honks, I do have no self-respect when it comes to older men, but I've never gotten with one over 20, I promise. So I told him age literally doesn't matter, and he gave me his phone, and I put my contact in.
Well.
So we're going to just put a little pin in that, aren't we, babes? Something that is probably hard for everyone to admit is that men do love children, but here's the thing.
My boyfriend is 30, which is giving 2 years away from being 28. Him even being around a 16-year-old is like, I can't even wrap my head around that.
No, there's something so diabolical and
that's so young.
You are so young. Now, when you're working in the restaurants, I was 16 when I worked in a restaurant, and all of my friends were around this age. And I look back now and I go, why was I going over to your house?
Yeah.
Why did you allow me to go over to your house?
I'll say this. Everybody that is that age, that is working in a restaurant is emotionally stunted. So
100%. You go to LA, you go to New York, you go to Chicago. people that age working in restaurants, they're in the entertainment industry. They're doing it so they can go to auditions and go to shows at night. And you go, okay. You go to, maybe this is offensive, but you go to like, Boise, Idaho, and you see a 35-year-old waitress and you go,
that's a career.
You go, life's been unkind to you.
Yeah.
So let's get back to the stats. All right. So you said age is nothing but a number. And when you are our age,
I also kind of don't believe this story, but go on. You guys are stressing me out. I'm like, now you guys are all just like putting things into ChatGPT and you're like, write a prompt for me about statutory.
Can I say something? This is written in all lowercase, and there's not like there's no paragraph. It's written as just all one paragraph. So that's why I believe that this was not written by.
True. Okay. Yeah, okay.
Not me reading you to feel.
Okay.
I will say, okay, not to make it about me really quick, but when I was doing my little stories as part of my hour in Portland and New York, I started getting in my head because like we rip people's stories to shreds. And so I was like, I need to make sure these stories are good because then I'm afraid people are going to be like, honk, you didn't tell a good story either. Okay. Anyways. So I told him age doesn't matter. And he gave me his phone and I put my contact in. Mind you, okay. I hate this. Mind you, he does have 3 kids, and after stalking, they're all boys and probably ages like 7 to 10. I don't remember.
He's 28.
So he's very fertile. So him and I had been texting and agreed to hang out. Hey, I hate that. Fast forward to the night we hung out. So I had gone into thinking we'll get like food, drive for a bit, and he will want head. So I will say I'm with my gay friend Alan to my mom. So she wasn't up me, and I didn't have to sneak out. I don't know what that means. Okay. Immediately, she read through me and told me to tell her whoever the boy was to meet her at the door. I get where she's coming from, but I wasn't going to tell my new hot coworker to meet my parents. When he told me he was there, I just left.
You know he's not hot.
Can I say something?
He's 28 years old, works at a restaurant, has 3 fucking kids.
And he's hanging out with a 16-year-old. That's arguably one of the biggest losers.
He's
ugly,
such
ugly ass.
Loser,
ugly.
dude. And like the way that we are so down bad for these men and they ain't motherfucking shit.
Like you're over here crashing out over a file. You're like, I don't want this file to meet my parents.
Literally. God, I have dated too many files.
I know. You were like addicted to them for a minute.
No, yeah, back to back, 15 and 22. That was that's crazy.
Yeah, that's a bummer. But that kind of sucks. Ugly. Okay.
Good pussy.
You were a kid. You were literally in diapers.
Tight. So it's extra tight.
Not after those pedophiles ran their snarled fingers.
Well, yeah, not after them, but before.
Yeah, before.
I told you that one of them, after my first 22-year-old, the second one, when he found out that I dated that 22-year-old, he was like, that kind of ruins it for me. You were so innocent. And I was like, he's like, I thought you were so innocent before this. And I was like, and when I was 15, I didn't really understand that was such an insane thing to say. And
well, no, because you want to know why? Because you were a child.
Yeah. Dude, that's crazy. That's so crazy. Blood's on his. It's so crazy because like he knew better. So it's like then these guys like now in your adulthood, like you have to know that like you were fucking a 15-year-old when you were 22. And that's so like.
Well, yeah.
That's so crazy.
Hot. Crazy hot.
Yeah.
Dude, when I was a lifeguard when I was 15, or I think I was like 16 or something, but I was a lifeguard and there was this guy that was 19, 20 that worked there and I wanted to hook up with him so bad. And he told me it's not okay because of our age difference. And he's like, you'll see when you're older that this is inappropriate. And I was like,
integrity.
Whatever. And then, honk, I found out he was a different kid that went to my school.
Never mind.
A different girl. And I said, oh, okay.
Men shouldn't date any woman below the age of 30. At any age.
No, and they shouldn't.
30 is the only appropriate age for men to date.
Even for men, people in their 20s?
Yes.
People in their 20s should only date 30.
What's the lowest you would go? Be honest.
Lowest I would go?
Yeah.
17.
I mean, like 24.
Lee, that's so young.
Lee, you're literally 40, you fucking freak rapist.
I'm 37.
That's so young.
Yeah, but you look 40.
My boyfriend, who is literally 30, who I am cradle robbing, he's 30. He's like, I couldn't date a woman in her 20s. And I'm like, he's like, maybe 28 would be the
really?
youngest.
Yeah, really like 28, 26, 28.
28.
22.
Stop.
No, I'm just kidding.
28 is still like, 28 I get, but like anything below that, like 24-year-old girls are young.
No, honestly, 30 is perfect.
30 is good.
Honestly, I would go older. I would date older than me.
Good. As you should.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get through this damn story.
Okay, just
What?
I just asked.
Youngest he would go.
Yeah, the youngest he would go, so we can get a read.
He's gonna lie.
Yeah, because you're lying too, and I know that you would actually go 18 if you could.
I think
but
you
you
would
know that
go
we'll fucking flame you if you say that.
You would go 18, 100%. If you haven't already, we know what's going on in those massage parlors.
He hates us.
I know. He
does.
Hashtag convicted.
Oh,
Literally.
Okay, speaking of the comments you get on Patreon, you do always get called convicted on there.
Yeah.
Okay, he says 26. He's 36. I'm saying that's disgusting.
Enough, you guys. No.
It's a lie. He's lying.
24 is still young. 24 is so young. I'm a full 10 years older than that. That's crazy. That's so young.
Yeah. No 24 would.
I said
no
disgusting.
24-year-old would even talk to me, would even consider me a human being.
It's crazy. 24 is so young. Also, 24-year-olds now, I will say, they are looking good. I was not looking good at 24.
I barely even look good now, but I was like,
barely. I know.
The amount of work I have to do to look just okay now.
Literally.
Is ungodly.
This is me at 24.
Girl.
This is me at 24. That's 24. Which is giving 44.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you want to know what? That's perfect.
Let's read this damn story.
Well, no, because then I have to show you me at 24.
16. We got to see what's going to happen with
I had blue hair. And it was really bad. And
yeah,
it was
that's
all
interesting.
fried.
It's an interesting look.
I know. It was electric blue hair.
It's because we didn't have TikTok, dude. If we had TikTok, the only reason I look kind of good now is because of TikTok. It's the only way I figured out how to do hair, makeup, which I can also barely do.
Okay, so she's like, I can't have this. I'll come meet my parents. That's too crazy. When he told me he was there, I just left silently and immediately hobbled to his car.
Why are you hobbling?
Because like when you're a child, you're always having to like crouch and be like kind of like calm. He and I agreed to go downtown and smoke. 28-year-old guy sounding real coolio, cool. He rolled a blunt and we got to know each other. Okay, and then I don't know what this means. She said it a few times now. I just keep skipping over the word. OV? Oh, I guess movie. And then the movie started and we started making out and getting handsy. Hey, I hate that. He asked me if I could sleep over and I looked at him sideways. Like,
where, in your child's bed? What do you,
yeah.
What?
Slept over and I looked at him sideways like, babe, we both have work in the morning. What? I told him no and he proceeded to ask if I wanted to get a hotel because we can't fuck in his tiny car. I agreed. He pulls over to a different spot. We're a blunt in and still hitting the cart. And he looks like, hitting a cart and he books a hotel. We get there and it's literally the hotel across from my Starbucks I go to every single day, right on a busy road. It was like 5 minutes from my house. He checked into the hotel and I stayed in the car. It was probably like 10 p.m. at this point. He got back in the car, we smoked another blunt and we went inside. He left the lights on in the hotel room, mind you, and we immediately got to it. It was one of the craziest sex experiences I've ever had. And he was hitting unreal positions. I don't know how to describe it to you.
No, he wasn't, dude.
Hey, I want you to know.
There's no such thing as an unreal
missionary,
position.
It was doggy. It was probably from the side.
From the side.
You're a kid and you probably don't have he probably took your hymen away. And that's why it was so crazy.
Unreal positions. Realistically, you guys, there's 3 positions we can do.
There's 4 if you're feeling... Okay, Lee, right. I don't want to hear whatever...
No, we're literally reading a story about statutory right now.
And this is literally what Zach said after he read this last night. He was like, this is an entire... Okay.
Yeah, no, this is just a whole thing about Statch. But I just... For the 16-year-old listening, because I guess we have to be her parents because her parents are... clearly kind of boofing this. I have to let her know that this guy is not amazing. It's not cool.
Yeah.
But I'm not even convinced that this is a real story and that you're actually 16.
Maybe
I think that sometimes our listeners rage bait us. I think that they just send us stories that they know we're going to get really worked up over. But go on.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
You think that there's like okay. Not too much on that. Thank you. But you think that they just rage bait us?
Sometimes.
Interesting. I hope you guys don't fucking do that. Okay, hitting unreal positions. No, he wasn't. I don't know how to describe it to you because it didn't happen. We had the TV going and Scooby-Doo was on and all of a sudden the lights were off and I woke up at 3 a.m. and I realized I literally need to get home. He handed me my phone and my mom called me 23 times and was snapping me and everything. My sister was calling.
First of all, why is your mom on Snapchat?
Okay. Just come on. My sister was calling me, even my friend. He and I immediately got dressed and went up and out. Okay, up and out. I was shaking. My mom's texts were like, come home. I saw him in the hotel. You're done. The way she came to the hotel and saw him has me done because he never drew the curtains. It's like the whole street saw us, I guarantee. I got home and my mom was up the driveway with my dogs. Mind you, it's 3 a.m. I work at 8 a.m. like ... Anyway, so that's basically
You're 16. Aren't you in school?
No one knows what's going on. Basically, it was like on a Saturday or some shit.
Maybe it was summer, yeah.
Okay. Basically, it was my mom and I. Oh, so that's basically okay. Hey guys. Anyways, so that's basically it. My mom and I like slept it off, and little does she or any of my other coworkers know, I still see him like every week. Now it's just at his new condo. Anyways, thanks, honks. I had to write that out. I think I love you all though.
The only reason now I kind of believe that story is because you said like so many times.
You said like, again, it's all this, and I'm going to say
you
this.
Typed it.
And I'm going to be honest with you. This was written like shit because you're not really checking into school. You're checking out this old guy's dick. And I have to say that it's really
Girl,
not
he's going to give you herpes. You're going to get pregnant.
I know.
None of this is going to end well.
It's not going to end well. Stop seeing him. Go find a little nerd ass guy in your class, or like maybe just focus on the
Maybe
books.
just don't even focus on men at all.
And learn how to spell movie because I didn't understand what OV was until like halfway through the damn thing.
You're 16. You're fucking a 28-year-old, and we all see what happens when you're a minor. Fucking guys.
It was probably speech to text.
Maybe, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. All right, we really.
All right.
Hard to admit, OnlyFans culture makes me insecure as fuck.
Okay, let's see. Dear Harper, Gabby, and Lee. ... And Lee. After listening to today's Patreon, I have to admit, we talked a lot about being on OnlyFans on Patreon. We always do.
Yeah,
After listening to today's Patreon episode, I have to admit, OnlyFans culture, porn in general, is very threatening to me due to my own self-esteem issues and past traumas. I have something to say about that. I was a porn addict for 6 years and it ruined my brain. Now I feel paranoid that every man will choose porn over me because honestly, why wouldn't they? OF offers a perfect combination of parasocial interaction, access to the hottest women on the planet, instant gratification for really not that much money. That's true. I am a pretty average white girl. I'm 31, 5'9", around 215. What y'all were saying in the Patreon is true. Being a quote-unquote fat woman means either being treated like Jabba the Hutt by white guys or being deeply fetishized by black guys. You can choose either a man who is outwardly mean to you and is just desperate for anything, even if he hates your body, or a man who will be very sexually active but doesn't see you as a whole complete person with feelings and wants and desires. I will say that I feel like every woman does experience that to an extent. But yeah. Mm-hmm. I would like to apologize to y'all for the active resentment in my heart towards OF girls and how mean I have been to Lee in past episodes through emails or comments I've left.
It
was probably you. It was probably that healthier one was probably you.
When he's open about his porn addiction, I'm deeply triggered. He should feel safe to be open and vulnerable. We need more honest men.
No, I shouldn't.
No, honestly, you guys, Lee needs to like have like an
This is sweet, but this is very sweet and reflective. Let's also be real. Fucking fat dudes is the best. I agree. I fucked this dude who was an indie wrestler. He'd come over, cook me a huge meal, eat my pussy for an hour, then fucking leave. My man is chubby and his dick so like a Coke can. My target audience seems to be chubby Puerto Rican gamers, and I'm not mad at that. Okay. I'm honestly, girl, that is yummy. But I'll say this. Okay,
that's interesting.
You said is very threatening to me due to my own self-esteem issues and past traumas. That it is like you are being self-reflective there because we do tend to personalize all of this stuff, which it sounds like you are aware of, but you saying, yeah, due to my own self-esteem issues and past traumas, it's like women in porn have nothing to do with you. You know what I mean? Like what women are doing on OnlyFans in porn is not personal to you. I understand that it is like, you know, because our boyfriends watch porn, blah, blah, blah. It does become this thing of like, well, why are they watching porn and not me? And it's like, because we are all also just like animals and we have weird fantasies. Like
we have weird fantasies. Also, dare I say it, Lee actually said something we're bordering on poignant. And I believe it was the last Patreon episode where we were talking again about OF and about the sinister men that we like see on there. And you were like, it's not all sinister though. At the end of the day, it's like people are just trying to get off and like you are providing a service and they're doing that. And that honestly did really help reframe my mindset, because anytime someone's like, hey, or like anytime they try and talk to me and they're like, fuck you. But then when you said that, I'm like, you're right. This is like a fantasy service essentially.
Yeah.
And it's just like part of it. And also women have fantasies as well.
That's why I watch porn.
We act it out sometimes differently than men. Also, yeah, there's some women that watch porn. There's some women that don't. But like, it's human nature to find other, like, I highly doubt you are ever going to be in a relationship and not find any other person attractive besides your partner. Like, you are a human being. You are an animal. You are going to find ways to act out on that.
Yeah, it's just...
And you don't have to cheat or whatever, but you are going to have those natural, very human-like desires.
Yeah.
I'd also like to loop it back to something that we were talking about earlier about the AI thing and how impersonal it is. Because I think that there is this curtain over OnlyFans right now that people think that you're interacting with the person that you're trying to.
In our case, you are.
And for small accounts, yes, you're likely talking to that person, but 90% of the people on there are interacting with these larger accounts, or if they're talking to anybody in South America or anybody in Europe, you're not talking to the person that you think you're talking to.
Yeah.
You're talking to somebody who's managing this account.
You're talking to
a guy. You're talking to a guy in Sri Lanka.
You're talking to Lee.
I have a good friend who does this for a living.
Yeah.
Who chats with these guys because he works with these girls who do porn. And then he works for a company or I think he works for a company. I'm not sure. He might just freelance it, but he works for a few girls and he manages their chat and he baits guys into buying videos.
Yeah.
And I think that once
hey, and guess what? It's not our fault that guys are dumb enough to fall for it.
Yeah. And I think that once that veil is kind of taken off, people are going to scrutinize who they're talking to and look for signs or ask straight up for evidence that they're talking to who they think they are.
It's interesting. Well, and I was listening to NPR yesterday, and there was a whole thing about how states now are trying to outlaw porn. And they related that to prohibition. And they're like, we can't, like, it's not good if we, like, people will just find other ways to get around this. Like, it is dangerous when we try to take these things away from people. Like, porn is like the #1 industry in the fucking world. Like, we can't, like, maybe as a species we would be healthier if we didn't have access to it, but like it doesn't really matter because it can't happen. It's the same way as, like, you can say, we should outlaw alcohol forever. Like, yeah, it would be better, but like it's not. It just can't happen.
I also think there needs to be some, especially from this woman's point of view who wrote in, there needs to be some acceptance that, especially at our age, and guys who are kind of 40 and younger, we interacted with porn at such a young age, and it was our first vice. And so just like smoking, drinking, any other vice, gambling, sugar, it's something that you're likely never going to completely work out of your life.
Yeah.
Unless you, like, turn to God.
Right.
Which you should and you could, and it's available, but that's not realistic when it comes to most
It's not.
people.
I mean, it's like a lot of this stuff really comes down to, like, being self-reflective and, like, honest with yourself, but I don't think we live in a culture that really promotes that. I think we live in a, like, get high fast culture, you know? Especially in the United States.
Yeah.
So that is also the issue with porn. It's like, we want things, we want it now, we want to get it off now. And it's like, it's just not, it's so deeply embedded, especially into, like, the heart of the American culture. It's like, it's not going anywhere. Also,
all right, can we read one short one? Very, very short, if there's a very, very short one. If not, then we have to end.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
But I'd like to get one more in.
Confessions of a Reluctant Stepmom.
This is not short. Okay. Confessions of a Reluctant Stepmom.
Sure
Hi,
enough.
honks. Okay, here it is. Something that is hard for me to admit. I do not like my stepdaughter.
Ooh.
And I respect that. And not in a she's a little annoying but lovable kind of way. I mean it in the most uncomfortable, unsettling, I feel like a villain kind of way. She genuinely creeps me out. And trust me, I know how that sounds. Wicked stepmother vibes, right? But the thing is, I love kids. I've helped raise my siblings. I've been a nanny. I'm the fun auntie who actually likes babysitting. I even have a baby of my own now. I usually connect with kids easily. But this one, she's different. There's something about her I just can't connect with. She's odd, emotionally distant, and she rarely engages. One time at the playground, instead of playing with the other kids, she climbed to the top of the jungle gym and just sat there silently watching everyone like some tiny sentry.
Okay, so she's probably autistic. You hate autistic people.
Okay. We also need to stop calling every single person autistic, but also maybe.
I mean, she's...
No, okay, no emotion, just this blank stare. I don't know whether to laugh or call for backup. She's also the kind of kid who constantly corrects adults, even when she's wrong. I once used
a kid.
Yeah.
I once used a different name for something, and she immediately jumped in to correct me, even after I explained that they were just two words for the same thing.
She's probably
and the way she looked at me, like I don't know what I was talking about, it was unnerving. Like I was the one being ridiculous. Okay,
she's giving autistic Capricorn.
She is giving. Okay, that's kind of giving retard. But this is kind of just sounds like just. I don't know, just like kind of like your run-of-the-mill kind of annoying kid.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you writing in, and there's a couple more little blurbs, so let's see if you can change our mind. Because right now you're kind of giving
Change our mind.
Change our mind, stepmom. All right. Then there was the doctor's office. All right, sis, let us know. A baby, sweet, smiley, the kind that makes strangers melt, waddled over and smiled right at her. And she just stared, didn't smile back, didn't say a word, just stared. I had to whisper, hey, can you smile so the baby doesn't get scared? Like I was trying to prompt a robot to act human. Okay, actually, even though we do throw the big A around way too much in this society, in this day and age, this actually is kind of giving autistic.
It's completely giving autistic.
Yeah.
How old is this kid, though? She hasn't also...
Well, it's like a playground. I don't know. It's like elementary school. Okay. It's not that I think she'd hurt the baby out of malice. It's more of this eerie... Oh, and here's the part I'm most ashamed of. Now that I have a baby with her dad, I don't like leaving them alone together.
Oh.
No, that... Okay. Now you're shifting us. It's not that I think she'd hurt the baby out of malice. It's more of this eerie feeling that she might do something just to see what happens. Like, pinch her. Not out of anger, but curiosity. That kind of unsettling clinical curiosity that makes all of my instincts go on high alert. Maybe she's neurodivergent. Maybe she's been through something no one knows about. Maybe she's just a little weird, quiet kid. Or maybe, and this is what keeps my mind up at night, maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I'm a terrible person for not being able to bond with her in the way that I have with literally every other child I've ever met. But every time I try, it's like there's this wall between us. No warmth, no openness, just silence that is unreadable, and that unreadable stare. So yeah, that's my confession. I don't like my husband's kid. Maybe that makes me the villain, but I'm the honest villain. And honestly, that kid gives me the chills.
Interesting.
That was interesting. It was really well written, and sincerely thank you for writing in. That's a very complex and difficult thing to reckon with.
I will say too, there probably is something there instinctually. Like if that is really what your gut is screaming out to you, you're probably onto something. Maybe the kid is honestly like she could be on the spectrum. We don't know. I would be interested in knowing what the relationship with the mother is like. And yeah, maybe the kid has been through some shit. Who knows? Maybe it'll be interesting to see how she kind of grows up and what her personality shapes into. But I do think that your gut is probably right on with not leaving your baby alone with her.
And if there's something like just inside your spirit, like especially if you love all kids, if there's something that that is just, igniting inside of you that is just like going off like a warning, yeah, I would say that that's a mother's intuition and just to listen to that. And also, some kids are duds. No one wants to fucking admit that, but I'll say it.
No, it's so true.
Sometimes
Imagine having a kid that's a dud, dude.
Yeah, your kid's a dud. Fuck you. It's fine.
Yeah, which is the only way that I understand people having multiple kids. I'm like, because what if you have one kid and it's a dud, but if you have like a grip of them and like one's a dud, at least you have three others.
Exactly. But when you have just one dud, you're like, fuck.
Yeah, well, it's like, okay, well, fine. At least I have the other three. But if you're an only child and you end up A dud, dude, that sucks.
I think my parents had my brother out of fear that I was going to be a dud.
As a backup.
As a backup, because I didn't I didn't say one single thing until I was 3 years old. And they would take me to they would take me to all these doctors. They're like, what the fuck's wrong with her? And the doctor would say, nothing's wrong with her. She's just not talking because she doesn't want to. And they were like, what the fuck? And then shortly after that, my mom got pregnant with my brother. And then I started talking. I said, oh, okay. You want a show? I'll put on a fucking show.
You said I'm setting a boundary until I'm 3.
Yeah. I just don't have shit to say.
I'm going on a silent retreat.
I don't have anything to say to them.
That's true. All
right, you guys. Well, we're going to read some more stories on Patreon. We have to
cut her short today, so we'll see you on Patreon.
Well, that's what I was just saying. But anyway, so we're going to read more stories on Patreon. Thank you guys for writing in. And OF is normal. And you guys can subscribe to Gabby and I.
And honestly, send your boyfriends because we need their money.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.
You were the brave one. You were the one. So we all ought to die someday. And we all ought to die someday. Well, you were the brave one. Yeah, you were the one. So we all ought to die someday. And probably not from smoking one of your cigarettes.